This is the Carty Method Podcast.
All right. Are you ready for another episode of the Carty Method Podcast? I am so excited. It is Photo Review Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I look at your portfolio images. I just had to look up. I'm like, is it Tuesday or is it Thursday? It's actually Tuesday, folks. And Tuesday, we look at your portfolio images. In a show I like to call Real Photo Reviews, what I'm doing today is looking at your portfolio images. The whole goal here is you can have your entire portfolio reviewed. You can use me to help you decide whether a picture is good enough to be in your portfolio, which I think is so valuable to have someone tell you, yes, this should definitely be in your portfolio, or I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's going to bring you the kind of clients that you want. I don't think it's going to bring you the kind of work that you're looking for. I don't think it's going to bring you the kind of money that you're hoping for, because it's not at that level. So that's what we do. That's what we do here every Tuesday. Thursdays, it's a little different. Thursdays, I give an assignment. I give a very specific brief, very much like a photo editor is giving you an assignment to shoot for a magazine. They will give you a very tight brief, tell you exactly what they want you to shoot, tell you the subject matter even, and you go shoot it. They will look at all the work that you've shot specifically for that purpose, and they'll choose the shots to go in the magazine. For you, your case, you actually have to be a bit of an editor because you have to choose the best shot to submit. That's what you're trying to do on Thursday to fit the brief. Tuesday, portfolio reviews. Thursday, assignments. And it's all here for you at the Carty Method. By the way, if you've never seen me before, I'm Carty of the Carty Method, rocking the new Carty Method S-Prime t-shirt in white. It looks so dope in white, yeah? I bet you like it. You should probably cop one. You can get it in the merch store. My merch is all over this channel, which you can see very easily. Welcome if you are watching me live, like Daniel and Amond and you at home who are not a member. You know, you have to become a member in order to participate in some, if not almost all, of my live chats. So please consider becoming a member. It definitely supports the channel and it makes it so I don't have to run ads through my live streams. So imagine if you watch my live streams and you're hanging out at home and you're not really chatting, but you are enjoying commercial-free content. Commercials suck on YouTube. They suck. Get YouTube Premium, by the way. That's how you get around it, is you get YouTube Premium, which I've had YouTube Premium for like 2 years. I haven't seen a commercial on YouTube for 2 years. And for the price of like $15 a month, just do it. Like, I totally do it. I see no commercials. I spend so much time on YouTube, especially if you're in the YouTube education journey where you're looking to YouTube to learn. That's so many of you are here learning from me. Consider becoming a member. You never see a commercial. And consider signing up for YouTube Premium and you never see a commercial. If you become a member of this channel, you get access to all my stuff, not just the public stuff. All right. Welcome, Sean Kwitecki. Welcome, Mats Carlson. Welcome, Nick Johnson. Of course, guys, I'm excited about today's episode. So I was asking you this week to show me. Last week I asked for your opening image, your opening portfolio image. This week I asked for show me your next image. And again, I don't need to see your portfolio in sequence. So that's something for the next assignment. It is just show me an image from your portfolio. And again, what I need you to do in the description is tell me your niche. As far as if you get chosen for photo of the week, what I would suggest is give a deep description of the photo. So if you get chosen for photo of the week, we do an article on you and we can use that description for the article. Makes it faster. But for me, during the show, it takes too much time for me to read your whole article about your photo. So just give me your niche, camera, aperture, shutter speed, ISO. Super simple. All right, guys, let's get into, and by the way, always 4,000 pixels wide, not 4,000 pixels high, 4,000 pixels wide. But what if it's a vertical picture? Still 4,000 pixels wide, yo. Every shot has a wide side and a long side. Just make the wide side 4,000 pixels wide. What about the length? Leave the length blank. When you leave it blank, whatever the side that you do, the other side will proportionately size, and then make it 100 dpi. And submit to the Carty method submission folder, which is super easy to find when you go to the Carty method and sign up for photo submissions. All right, guys, everybody who is here has signed up for photo submissions. Let's start with Durain Carter. Durain, let's say Durain shot this with a Sony Sigma 24-70 2.8 f4 1/500th of a second at ISO 1280. Durain Carter at ISO 1280. Where is Durain Carter? I'm looking and at my notes here, mister. Looking at my notes, my first picture is Mats Carlson. So actually don't have Durain's picture in this folder. So we do show prep before every episode, and it seems as though Durain Carter's image is not here. So let me just go find it. Moments. I need moments. Let me go find it. All right, products. Here we go. All right. Sorry, guys. I don't want to skip because, you know, it's important. Assignments. And, all right. I'm going to try to find Mr. Here he is. All right. Let's have a look. Huh. All right. Well, this image downloaded twice. All right. Yeah, for some reason, I think this is the issue, and I think this is why, Durain, that we couldn't show your picture, is it's the format. I know it's your first time submitting, so it has to be a JPEG. Whatever your file format is, it doesn't have an extension on it. So although we can see it here, when I open it, when I try to download it, it's blank. So I can only look at this small. Please get some help from somebody in my community. I have an incredibly helpful community. They're definitely here to help you submit in the right way. But sometimes when you're new, the submissions are bad. So for this photo, first of all, ISO 1280 is really, really high, especially when you're shooting. Let me just see here what camera you are shooting with. Sorry. Let me just see what camera body you're shooting with, sir. Let's see. It seems Notion. It says that you're shooting Sony. Didn't tell me the camera body. Like, give me the camera exactly. Sony A7 III. Sony, not just Sony. Sigma 24-70 at 2.8. You're shooting at ISO. Okay. So based on your settings, with a 24-70, you can shoot down to a 70th of a second without getting camera blur. Although you are shooting movement, so you do need a faster shutter speed. But ISO 1200, 1280, not even 12,000. ISO 12,800 was your ISO. Like, that's getting into the, like, really, really too, I would call it too far with the exposure. When you're in these kind of situations, when you're not able to light, it's just existing light, or it's just the light that your eye sees. Rarely is that enough for photography. And because of that, you're getting real darkness in here. and losing shadow detail in the background. Like this background is supposed to be jet black, but it actually reads relatively blue, and it's reading blue because of underexposure. And if I had this picture a little bit higher res, I would see noise. And I'm imagining then you go in and do like noise correction and like to get rid of the noise. Like this is all stuff that pros don't do. So I'm trying to get you to the point where you're not taking pictures of things that you see, but you're creating ideas. I'm not sure the type of work that you do. Let me just have a look at what your niche is. Your niche is documentary photography. So documentary photography is very different than you going to a wrestling match and photographing pictures from side stage. So documentary is telling stories. Like that's what we're trying to do. We're really trying to tell the story. So if you're trying to be a documentary photographer, what you do is you go into the dressing room with these wrestlers after the match when they're all sweating, and you photograph them, or you photograph them getting ready, or you photograph them waiting for the match to happen. Like the documentary side is everything that's happening when they're not wrestling. That's the documentary. Seeing them wrestle, you can assume that everybody who's in the crowd, everybody who's ever seen a wrestling match has seen this part. But what a documentary photographer does is you show me the things that I wouldn't see normally. And that's not the performance. So for me, on the technical, we're missing with the light and the exposure and the color balance. And on the idea, if you are trying to be a documentary photographer, the whole premise of documentary is telling stories. And you have to ask yourself, what story am I sharing here? What am I showing here that no one's ever seen before? And that, unfortunately, that's nothing, right? So don't try to disguise event photography or try to reword event photography and call it documentary, because they are completely different things. Documentary is taking pictures of things that are happening in a very different, intimate, behind the scenes, like you're sharing a story. That's documentary. Event coverage or doing live photos is just something's happening. I was there with my camera. I took pictures. So there's not a lot of value in that. There's lots of value in documentary photography, which is editorial. It's very different. So do your best to reshape what it is that you shoot to actually match what it is that you think that you want to shoot. I hope that makes sense. Guys, and again, get some help from my community. They're very helpful before your next submission. So you're submitting photos in the exact format so we can actually show them properly. You'll see the rest of the photos and how they're being shown. It's because those people followed the specs exactly. I hope that helps. All right, guys, that is Durain Carter. Thank you for submitting. And again, I'm sorry I can't show your photo larger, but again, that's for all the reasons that I just said. Okay, Durain Carter. Now I have to move this over to here. Now that'll give me that. And I can go back to here. All right. So, guys, by the way, you can definitely leave comments under this video. You don't have no idea how many comments I get every day. And I need more of them. I can't tell you how important comments are in propelling this channel forward. Comments. Leave comments on videos. If you see something, if it helped you, leave a comment. And I know it's like, it takes a certain kind of a personality to comment on videos. Most people don't. But if you like the creator, if you're into what the creator's talking about, make a comment. It helps so much. And also, secret time, you can guide creators' content by making relevant comments. Relevant comments will get your ideas made into a video. They definitely do on my channel. All right. Our next shooter is Mats Carlson. So Matt says I submitted this picture on minimalist and got feedback that it was underexposed. So I increased the exposure on this one. I'd like your feedback on the exposure increase on this picture. I'd also like to use it in my portfolio as I'm aiming for portrait photography. Thanks for your feedback. It means a lot. Canon R6, RF 100 to 500 at 200 millimeter, 500th of a second, f5, ISO 640. This is shot with an LED light softbox grid. This, guys, is Mats Carlson. Mats. Yeah, Mats, this is a yes for me. This is a yes. Like, it's technically proficient. It's technically proficient. Like, look at how sharp this photo is, Mats. Like, this is a yes. Exposure-wise, yes. Contrast-wise, yes. The processing is here. And this is a photo that should go in your book. Yes, 100% yes. I'm giving it an 11. And now that the exposure is fixed, yes, Mats. Yes, this is it. This is great. I mean, if this is you, then this should be used for, and I think this is you, mister. This should be used for a profile picture. Like, hey, Carol, welcome. Thank you for becoming a subscriber. Welcome to the Carty method. So yeah, if this is a profile picture, what you do is you offset this all the way so it's pushed over here. Oops, we can't do that. But so it's pushed over to one side, and then it gives you all the room to have Matt's K and then your bio and then a call to action. Yeah, like for me, this is, if it's you, and I'm pretty sure that it is Matt's, that's where this picture is used. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's not like, you don't have pictures of you in your portfolio. If you're a portrait photographer, you use portraits of you in a different way. Like, for example, this is my site. So you'll see in my main portfolio, there's no photos of me. Like, this is my work. I'm behind the camera, not in front of it. So the main portfolio is just the work. But when it comes to your about section, now this is a photograph by Nasca Demeni, who shot my portrait in Montreal. So this is his portrait of me. And then testes, one of my pictures, picture that someone else shot of me while I was working. And then self-portrait. So you see how it grows, how it's coming out at you. I love my new site. I'm so into it. Anyways, guys, Pixpa, link in the video description, is one of my new sponsors. I'm going to go dive deep into Pixpa and this builder next week. But this is where your photos go, Mats. When they're photos of you, this is where they go. They go in your contact page. They go in your about page. This is another self-portrait. So I shoot self-portraits all the time. This is a picture someone shot of me. And this is another self-portrait. And the reason that I shoot so many self-portraits is because I'm on YouTube. I need thumbnails. So I shoot them a lot. So for me, that's where this photograph of you, Mats, plays. This is where that photo plays. And again, it's perfect. It should go on your site. It's a banger. I'm giving it an 11. On the self-portrait tip, this is just super sick. And if it's not a portrait of you, then holy moly, it's definitely can go in your portfolio. All right. Our next shooter is Kyle Gagne. Kyle says, this was an unused look from a previous Carty method assignment. Part of my early experimentation with environmental product photography. Sony A7 IV, Sony 90mm macro G, 1/200th of a second at f8 at ISO 100. This is Kyle Gagne. Kyle, let's have a look at this, Kyle. Let's look at this as a double. I mean, textbook. Textbook. Kyle, let's go. This distance. I like the fact that you biased it low. I like the fact that there's wood here because you can have the headline here as well, but you also have tons of room here for blocky text and information about the product. I like the textured background. It's really, the textured background just really works for me. There isn't really anything here I'm going to complain about, Kyle. I think that this is really dope. I want you to watch your exposure because I know this is a bit hazy. And that haze might have to do with treatment. But I noticed that treatment, you don't really use a treatment like this. So if this is a preset or a LUT or whatever on top of your photo, I don't know if it needs it. We're actually losing the actual true color, the true color of this yellow. So that's the only thing that I would say is your white balance, your treatment from picture to picture to picture to picture throughout your portfolio is super important. If you notice a majority of like pros work, they're not using LUTs. You're going to notice they're not using LUTs. They're not using presets. Like pros are using presets, but it's to make their work look neutral. It's not to make it look dreamy or cold or like usually. I mean, again, I'm generalizing. But you can see there's no presets here. I don't play with presets. My stuff is very, very clean. Like that's my vibe. My vibe is I want my stuff to be insanely clean. Early on in my career, I was all about the look. I wanted my shit to have a look. And now it's like the idea is the look, and classic and timeless is the look. So, anyways, I hope that helps you. I'm really not wanting you to go too far with the post and not too far with the treatment. And I would love to see this as a different like without the LUT or treatment. And again, if this is because of exposure that I'm not getting true blacks down here, tell me about that as well. Because I feel like I've seen this image before without this treatment. That's my 2 cents in a bag of chips. That is Kyle G. This is a one that can go in the portfolio, Kyle, even if it's just exactly how it is. Again, for me, all the things that I said there about don't rely heavily on hooks or LUTs. Hooks, presets, they're all the same thing. You know, it's like when you strip that away, do you still have an amazing photo? If you do, then the question is, do you need it? And are you going to do it? Are you committed enough to do it to all your photos so they all have the same look? Like that's what you have to do. Okay, that's cold now. Let's get into our next shooter, guys. Our next shooter is Ken LeBlanc. Ken says, Happy Thanksgiving. Shot with a Sony A7R5 50mm 1/60th of a second f9 ISO 160. This is Ken LeBlanc. Let's go, Ken. Thanks for submitting. So Ken, right off the bat, the first thing I see is exposure. The first thing I see is exposure. Now, what is the main thing in this picture? Number one, the splash. Number two, this guy. So the two things, number one, the splash is soft. So the splash isn't going to catch your attention. Number two, this line, you don't really see it enough because there's not really enough contrast. I actually just saw this line now that's coming off here. And third is the exposure here. Like, that's the biggest part of this image is him, right? So, and also look at all the products on this boat. This is a product. So the canoe, right? His rod is a product. The jacket that he's wearing is a product. The glasses he's wearing. So the oars, but sadly this is backlit. You can see the backlighting. So the light's coming in from here and your camera's aiming in this way. The camera sees all this light coming in and it gives an underexposure because it's exposing for back here. You're seen. It is not, the camera does not know that you're trying to shoot something that's in the scene. So you have to tell the camera that. And you do that using exposure compensation. So whenever you're aiming, like just look at the highlights. You can see the highlights on his leg is showing you the sun is coming from behind and the highlight on the top of his head, and there's no light on his face. So you need the only exposure that matters here is the exposure here. And the situation is, well, if the sun's coming from this way, why are you shooting that way? Just turn the boat around, you get into another boat and you go over here and shoot it that way. And if that's not possible, then again, that might not be the picture. So this is what we do as photographers. This is what we do. We are doing problem solving. Because what happens now is you expose this properly for here. And then all of this back here is bright. It's brighter by a full stop because this is one stop under. And then down here blows out. So the only way to do it is you need to kick in a little bit of light on him here, which is why we have studio strobes that you can use outside that run on battery. And like in a scene like this, you light it in order to take it to the next level. So, and again, something that really helps always is you go to Behance .net and then you look at fishing photos. So you just do a little search here and you search fishing. And then you say creative fields and you say photography. And now what you get to see is what work is out there with people who are fishing. If you look at this photo, I'll tell you, secret time, outdoor strobe. Outdoor strobe to fill in this side, because the light's coming from back here. So he's using light outside. So, where's another, like, this is what I do when I'm trying to execute a new idea. I look to see what is out there on that type of photography. This is the only picture I'm looking for right here. Very center focused, makes it really difficult to make it on a double page, but does have good product placement and good light on this guy because the light is coming from the side and he's got good exposure here, but you can see how much brighter the sky is. The sky needs to be bright like that because of exposure. So when you look here, you can see how your sky's darker. That's because, again, of exposure, Ken. So for me, this isn't going to make it to your portfolio. The reason that it can't make it to your portfolio is because of exposure. It's underexposed. If you have this in your book, it is not going to sell you as a technically capable photographer. So this isn't the frame. So it's a no, but don't be discouraged. It's just take everything that I said and like watch this review over and over. So you actually, and when you shoot this frame and you look at the back of your camera, these are the things that you have to be saying. What's the most important part of this picture? Do I want to have him in focus and this also in focus? Well, number one, I can't do that with a telephoto, because telephotos are the worst for depth of field. So you're going to get incredibly shallow depth of field if you're shooting and again, you're shooting 24-70 at 70. Well, if you shoot it a little bit wider, wide's going to give you more depth of field, but that has nothing to do with the exposure, which means you're going to have to actually be in the water and a little bit closer. So it's problem solving, Ken. This is what we're trying to do always. Is we're problem solving and we're going through these photos while we do it. Make sure you're checking your frames, and exposure is the one thing that we are really watching. The reason that that face just looks like a dark spot with two sunglass holes is exposure. I hope that helps. All right, that is Ken LeBlanc. Our next shooter is Joshua Haney. Joshua says, my second portfolio picture continues to establish myself as a portrait photographer. Taken during an art stroll through the city. I had a booth set up at the event. R6, 85mm, 5.6, 100th of a second, ISO 50 with a single strobe. Let's get it on. Let's see, Joshua, where are you, my guy? There you go. Guys, this is Joshua Haney. Joshua. All right, Joshua, as he continues to establish himself as a portrait photographer. Let's look at this as a double. As a double, it's nice. I mean, you can see where the dog falls. Like, you have this man framed well, although there's quite a bit of gap here, and he is very much leaning in on the inner gutter. I really wish I had him, rather than leaning like he was just square. Because you can see if he was just squared up, then you would have been able to frame him here. This is where his head would have been if he's not leaning over. And he actually would have been centered. And then from there, the dog, you just let the dog push over just a little bit. Problem is that you're only using one strobe and you're in a scene. Well, actually, it looks like you have a little bit of highlight over there. I'm trying to see where this highlight's coming from. But because you only have one strobe, it just falls off into darkness. It just falls off into nothingness back here. Oops. It just falls off into nothingness back here. What we need is a light back here to give us a little bit more separation, and especially separation with the dog. Because of that black coat down here, we lose his paws, we lose a bunch of stuff. And also that light is just coming in like very tight. If you move the light back a little bit and adjust the exposure, it's going to open and give you a little bit more of a vibe. For me here, trying to include the dog in this photo, like this is the photo. This is the photo. Trying to include the dog and also make it a double page spread, I feel like you're trying to do too much. And also this little block here, which is like the dog's toys. Like there's too much in this photo. The main thing that's the most important is him here. Also this jacket with this logo here, and he's got just a regular plain gray t-shirt under. You have him take this jacket off. You have him just in the t-shirt. And now the t-shirt's a neutral color, and it's not giving you that blue. And then he pops a lot more. I'd be interested in seeing other shots, Joshua, from this series. It's okay, but it's not like, for me, like, it's not as oomph. I wouldn't mind seeing more from this series. Do you have verticals? Do you have shots of him without the dog? Do you have like stuff in this light that are other alternates? Do you have ones where he's not leaning into the like he's not leaning into the center of the photo, where he's like just squared up and present on his own, not trying to take one of those like cutesy pictures? You know what I mean? These are all things that I'm thinking about when I'm looking at this pose. You have to be thinking about it too. I know the level of work that you do, Joshua. I'm not sure if this edit is one that's going to make it. This is just my own personal. I'm not sure if this is the edit. Show me other shots from this set. I'm guaranteeing you that there's something else in this set that's going to work better than this one. Guys, that is Joshua Haney. Mostly Joshua because of the double framing. The double page framing, and you can see that second page, it's not enough. It doesn't give me enough of a picture. All right, guys, I hope that helps. That was Joshua Haney. Let's see who is next. Our next shooter is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, I got a note from my team that says you mixed up web and submission res. So you submitted 27 by 31, which is website resolution. When we're submitting here, it's 4,000 wide. So it's literally twice as big. I need a file that's twice as big for submission. I hope that helps. Who has a question for me, Garin? I'm one name ahead. How am I one name ahead? This is girl with dreads and sunglasses, couple shot. Yeah, this is all. This is okay. Ken LeBlanc, Torrance Davis. Oh my goodness, this is all mistakes from show prep, Garin. So if you're if I'm one name ahead, especially when I'm full screen, it's only because, and also I just did a huge review for Ken LeBlanc, and that wasn't Ken LeBlanc's photo. The next photo was Ken LeBlanc. The photo that I just did, now that I'm looking at the names, Joshua Haney. I just talked to Joshua. That wasn't Joshua's picture. So Ken LeBlanc's picture was like, the order doesn't match. So the only reason that I would be doing it in the wrong order, number one, is that first person's photograph wasn't in the directory, wasn't here. And second, yeah. Anyways, so sorry, we are one name off. So Torrance Davis, guys, apologies, but Torrance, this whole time I was talking to Ken LeBlanc, and it was Torrance Davis. So this is Torrance's picture, guys. Apologies. This is Torrance's photo. Now, this photo is Ken LeBlanc. So Ken, this has been your review. Apologies for messing up the names. This isn't something that it won't happen again. This is yes, I'm seeing that. You see my frustration. All right. So Joshua Haney, which I was just thinking that was Joshua. That wasn't Joshua. This is actually Joshua's photo here. So we're going to try again. See if we can get this lined up here. This is Joshua Haney. Joshua, thanks for submitting. So Josh, this is, again, I'm so sorry. I'm back on track here. All right, here we go. This is, okay, by the way, here, why don't we just do this? Why don't I just be transparent? I'll just show you guys the issue. Torrance. Yes, I skipped. Got it. So, first, it starts with Durain Carter. Durain Carter's not in here. So that's where the first thing started. Then we went to Matt, so you remember how that started. And then to Kyle, and I see Torrance Davis. Got it. So yes, I did make a mistake there by missing Torrance, and that threw everything off. Got it. All right. This is, so Ken, I apologize that I was calling you and thinking you were Joshua. All the same things hold true. All the same things hold true, Ken, with the dog and the framing. So just make sure that that's... All right. This is, again, only the third time that we are doing the reviews this way. This is why I've never messed up the photo and the name and whose photo it is. Like, it never happens. So please bear with me. I'm doing this live. And trust me, I'm more frustrated than you are. All right. This is, our next is Joshua Haney. All right, Joshua. So we're going to start here again, and hopefully we can line this up for the rest of this episode. This is Joshua Haney. Joshua, thanks for submitting. So framing is good. I just want you to watch this edge. And it for me, as far as this as a portfolio picture, you had a booth, an art booth set up around the city. Okay, this is now starting to make way more sense. So as far as making money on the day, shooting pictures that people request, like, I definitely see it. You taking a picture of this guy and his girlfriend, like, I definitely see it. Is this a photo for your portfolio? Like, that now becomes the next question. First thing, did you shoot them solo? Did you shoot them together and then shoot her by herself and him by himself? If the answer is no, like, this is just a boyfriend-girlfriend shot that you did for them. So people at this age group don't have $500 to pay to have their portrait taken. They're just going to get it done with a phone, or they're just going to get it done for free. So it's like this is not a crowd that you're going to make money from. So it's like older people who are a little bit more established, people who are married, sure, if that's what you're trying to do. But if you're trying to establish yourself as a portrait photographer, portraits are one person. So having this as a group and them together, like, they're all lovey, like, you're just doing a shot that they're going to just have on their phones. But for you, for your portfolio, this isn't it for your portfolio. Now, if you had straight up portrait of her, straight up portrait of him, yes, that now you can use for your portfolio. But them as a couple, again, it's the wrong, like, if it's just her, well, you can get hired to shoot her for a magazine. You can get hired to shoot him because he's a skateboarder. You're shooting him for a magazine. Like, rarely when you're getting hired to do an editorial is it going to be on two people. And this isn't an editorial style photo. This is just a snap of two people in your set. So Joshua, and again, I know your work and I know how good of a shooter you are. I just think that it's more of you did something for them. You did not create something for you. Does that make sense? You shot this for them. You do not have now something that you can use to sell you as a photographer. And I feel like if it is just a one light gray background or one light white, super simple, you could do way better executions to show your examples of that. Better executions than these two in this picture. So for me, this is, I don't think it's portfolio material, my friend. If you show me the other ones, show me what else you shot at the booth during this day. I don't think this one is the edit. And again, it's your portraits, one person. So look through my photos. The only time you see multiple people in a picture, it's like the two of these people did this project. The two of these people or the three of these people are a band. Do you know what I mean? So each one of them has their identity. This is the two of these people are in a relationship. And here's a photographer, and let's get him to take a picture of us because we're boyfriend, girlfriend. That's all it's saying. So for me, it's not strong enough. I hope that helps. All right, guys, that is Josh Haney. Next is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, this is my friend Taddy, captured this image a while ago. It hints at the direction that I'm currently exploring in my photography. I like the scene, though there are a few aesthetic adjustments I'd like to make around her chin. Still learning as I go. In the meantime, I'd love to hear if you think this could be a good fit for my portfolio. Shot with the Fuji X Pro 3 ISO 80, 1/1000th of a second. Shot at f2 at 35 millimeter with a crop sensor. This is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel. So the reason, again, I love this. I like this. This is a good vibe. Oops, sorry, wrong thing. Let's look at this as a cover. Let me just fix my cover art here. I definitely see the double chin. The vibe is nice. The light is nice. There's like a nice sensibility. The issue for me is the double chin. And it's because of how she's holding her head. Now, this has to be an exercise that we all learn. What we do is, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to demonstrate because it's important to demonstrate. When someone has a photo taken, they do this. Everybody who has their picture taken, they go like this. They go like this. Women, men do this mostly. They go up into the right, up into the left, I mean. So it's up to us, the photographer, to correct this. This is direction. This is what we are doing, is we are giving direction to make our subjects look the best that they can look. Head angle is the biggest like hack that you can do when it comes to shooting people. You're shooting her. She's leaning on her back arm. So she's leaning back and she's settled in. What you have to do, and again, yes or yes. She's leaning on her back arm and she's settled in. So because she's leaning on her back arm and she's settled in, her chin isn't out, it's back. So this is what we do, is we don't shoot people like we present them forward. So they can then, rather than having their head pulled back, they can extend their head forward. And if you see the difference as to what it looks like on the side, pulled back to extending their head forward and dropping their chin. And now with this head angle, when you see it from the front, jawline, no double chin. When you shoot a woman from the side, they have to extend out. They have to. They have to, because it's not flattering to shoot a woman leaning back like that. Unless they're like 18 and slim shady, they're gonna have stuff. So it's your job as the shooter to like project to camera, drop your chin down, and look at that head angle. And again, you see this all over my website. You see this all over my website. Here's an example. Girl with her head at the exact same angle. But she's rolling her shoulder forward and she's projecting her chin out to improve what is happening under her chin. Another angle. You see her head is projected out and down, so you don't see under here. So you see jawline. This is like the art of how to hold how to get a model to hold her face. Again, her head is back, but her chin is down. And therefore you see this highlight right here that I have with my reflector that's giving this crazy little bit of light right there. Like this little bit of light right here. So head angle, another one. Head angle, look, chin out, down. Like this is the thing, this is the reason that we're people photographers, is because we know how to make people look great. Even here, that's a little bit too up for me. So Daniel, that's what you have to obsess over. Obsess over how people are holding their head. Obsess over it. Because that chin angle, and you'll notice how I don't let anybody's head come up too high. Just look, it's on everybody. I don't let anybody's head come up. like that high. So it's always like a strong jawline. Here's an example where I had her from the side and I had to have her extend her chin out to hide the double. So for me, can you fix it? Sure, you could fix it. You could definitely fix it. You could push this under for sure. But the thing is that there's a shadow here. And this shadow is what makes it really difficult, is the shadow that's here. So once you push this up, now like the shadow's not going to look right. And then you're going to have to push it exactly straight, because this dread, if you push it from here, it's going to warp the dreads. So how you do this has to be like perfect. So how you fix that is in the shooting of it, is we get really good with positioning our subjects' faces. We get really good at positioning our subjects' faces, because if not, it becomes really hard to do afterwards. It really becomes hard to do afterwards. You can see she is leaning back. Her head is pulled back. She's on her back arm. So although the light is gorgeous on her face, it's just, you move this way, square her up to you, aim like this so you have perfect front light, and shoot her straight on, not the profile. That's my 2 cents in a bag of chips on this one, Daniel. Is it a portfolio picture? Not sure. If you have other edits, maybe. I'm just like, I'm on the fence. The double chin and the like, women notice everything, and they'll notice things on other women. So if you're not a pro at making women of all ages look amazing, women are going to catch it and they're going to be like, I don't trust this guy. He's going to give me a double chin. So for me, I think for that reason, like, no, it's not a portfolio picture, my guy. All right, guys, that is Daniel Van Cleef. Our next shooter. Let's see this full screen, please. Our next shooter is Natalie Murdoch. So this was shot with natural light, Sony A7R Mark II, 50 millimeter, ISO 1250, 1/60th of a second at f5. This is Natalie Murdoch finally starting to shoot pictures and work through this process, which you literally should have been doing months ago. Natalie in my accelerator. So Natalie, let's look at this close up. Close up, it's out of focus. Like that's something that is a major issue. Up close, it's out of focus. Where we're trying to focus is here, which is between the white and the color of the eye. That spot is your sweet spot. And this girl's face is the most important thing in the photo, her expression. Okay. Her now smelling the avocado. When you're focusing on the avocado, which is what we did, when you're focusing on the avocado, the plane of the avocado here, the focus plane of the avocado here, and the focus plane of this girl's face here, the distance between these two is like literally 12 inches, or call it 10 inches, or call it 8 inches. But what it is it's too much based on your aperture. You also have this stuff here kind of in focus, but the girl isn't. So you need a depth of field that gives you enough. And also you're shooting this natural light. So because you're shooting at natural light, the window light is coming from this direction, which is very hard on her face. It's putting weird shadow here. It's also shadowing the inside of her eye here. And it's giving her strange bags there, because women like to be lit from the front. That is just how females' faces are. They just like to be lit from the front. With no front light, because you have no front light, you can't control depth. You can't control depth of field because you have no light. You're not using light. You're now left to the devices of how bright it is in the room, which you never leave yourself in that situation as a professional photographer. You never leave yourself. It's like, well, that's how much light we had. It's like, Oh my God, you spend $200, you buy a studio strobe, you put an umbrella on it, and you place it to give you more depth of field, and you set it at such a way that you take you take a reading in here, say it's f4, then you take a reading and see what the ambient light is, and say the ambient light at ISO 200, the ambient light needs an exposure of 2 seconds in order to give you, call it f11. You need 2 seconds at ISO 200 to give you f11 because the ambient light's f4. So then what you do is you take a reading, boom, boom, and then you get f11 on this woman's face. And now you know that you need 2 seconds to get ambient exposure. So then you shoot at f11 with the strobe at 2 seconds. So this 2 seconds gives you the ambient light at f11, and then you set your strobe at f11. So now you have a balanced scene where it's bright, and also you have this filled in, and you're able to give more flattering light here and also have more of a depth of field. So this exercise and this happens from doing reps. You learn this stuff from doing reps. Like, you need to shoot way more. When you shoot way more, you work through these problems because you're shooting all the time. You work through these problems because you're shooting all the time. When you don't shoot enough, here's what happens. Every time you're on a photo shoot, it's your first fucking day. That's what happens, because all the stuff that you've learned that you're stacking your skill set. If you're not doing the reps, you're not stacking. You have a skill set, but it's laid on the floor. And every time you shoot, you're like, oh, right. Aperture. Like, so that's what you're like, where when you do reps all the time, it becomes this thing they call second nature. So, Natalie, this is, for me, okay. But I don't want you to be a part of the Carty method and be just an okay photographer. This isn't what I do here. I'm about creating assassins. I'm about creating the best in the industry. And I want you to be a part of it. It means more reps. So this, for me, is a no because of the focus. That is the number one reason that this is a no, Natalie. It's important to see that the picture's out of focus. So because of that, that's a no. Also, the second thing is how she's holding her hand is not flattering. You see how she's going out with her hand? Hands don't go out because they don't look like hands when they're held like that. They have to be like out like this, or like this, or like you have to present a little bit more. And I know I'm being hyper detailed, but you have to. You have to be. You're presenting this finger, which looks really stumpy because of how it's angled. Because this finger looks really long this way, but if I angle it this way, it now starts to look short. And that's what we're doing. And then that one nail, which is the first thing that you see, no Manny. No Manny. And when you really go in deep, then it's like, oh, okay. And is this dirt under her nails over here? And it's like, okay, like this line here, like it just becomes like, this is why there's people who do retouching that put nail polish on people. Because for me, with this, I've said it so many times. The first thing I do when I shoot people, I say, show me your hands. Show me your hands. Because I need to see if I can have their hands in the photographs or not. This girl is a girl that you have her hold the avocado, not where you can see her nails. You have her turn it in such a way that you can't. So now you see the front of her hand, and she's smelling like this, and her nails are all hidden. Secret time. You're having her hands like that so you can see her nails, and her nails are nice. So small things, Natalie, but at the same point, huge things, because this is what we do. I have what is called visual OCD. I call it visual obsessive compulsive disorder. I see everything. In order to be a working pro, you have to have more visual OCD than the average person. This is why I always see stuff in your photos that you don't see, is because I just obsess more. And the way that I look at your photos, I scan them like this. Like I'm a scanner. Like I literally look side to side to side to side to side to like, and I if there's something there, I'm going to see it. But are you not looking at your photos like that as well? So the more you do reps, the more you see stuff that you don't see when you don't do the reps. Here, I'll show you more. Here's another thing. You punch in more so you don't have the microwave here. Tell me this isn't distracting. So you punch in, so that's not there. And guess what else? You see this line here? Also distracting. You punch in, so that line's not there. You see this cutting board right here? Either move this cutting board into the shot or take it out, because that is also distracting. Here, I'll do some more. You see how this is turned that way and making it too close to the edge? You turned this so it now is here, so you have more space. You see this here? This plug that is right behind her head? You take that plug away, or you frame yourself so she's in front of it and blocking it. You see this plug here? You take that plug away. You see up here how there's things in the cupboards? You take her pills, you take those away. You see how there's a green thing over her shoulder that's distracting? You take that away. So do you see how actually, like, how far do you want me to go? Like you're in my accelerator. So I'm showing you, like, this is how I walk into a set, and when I'm shooting a frame, this is what I look at when I'm looking at the back of my camera. This is what I'm looking at when I look at the back of my camera. So you have to don't think like I'm a crazy person. Think, oh my God, I'm missing so much. I have to pay attention the way that Carty does. I have to be way more detail oriented the way that Carty is, because that's what pros do. That's how pros work. I hope that helps you. By the way, have a stylist on set. Have like a stylist on set, have a food stylist on set. You see my obsession? Have a producer on set, and you'll be like, oh my God, they see things that you were like, oh my God, I didn't even notice that. Like I'm used to working in a team. So you have lots of people on set making sure that the set is perfect. And when you're shooting on location, here's a secret. That's a set. Anything that's behind you is a set. So treat it like a set. Would there be like a coffee table glass here with like a ring on the bottom there on a set? No. So why is it on your set? I didn't see it, or you don't care. I don't think it's that I don't care. What's more likely is I didn't see it, or I didn't notice it, or I didn't think it was important. All of those things are all like things that I'm trying to correct. Guys, that is Natalie Murdoch. Hope that helps. Hope that helps. I got to ramp this up here because the technical issues in the beginning has slowed this whole process down. Let's look at our next shooter. This is Doyle Daniels. Doyle, still working on using strobes as well as a small bit of retouching. We were out trying to do knockdown. We were trying to do knockdown. Oh, yeah. So this is a Bose headphones shoot. The language here and the communication. This is your sentence. We were out trying to do knockdown a fake shoot for Bose headphones. This was just one of the candid shots we got while talking and hanging out. Nikon Z8 50mm 1.2 f11 1/80th of a second ISO 80. Communication is the difference between success and failure. Get really clear. That's the only thing I'm asking from everybody. Clear. Be clear. Read back your sentences. Read them back. Read them back. Read them back. Because Carty's going to read them. And if it doesn't make sense, it's going to make me look silly. Read them back. All right, guys. This is Doyle Daniels. Doyle. This framing, very close, but you're almost framing on the thirds. Almost. Based on her face and where her face is, if I hide my grid here and I go to this one and I take her nose, which is like the center of the frame, and I draw a line down here, and I do the same thing over here. This looks very much like it's composed on the thirds. And I feel like I've had that conversation about composing on the thirds before and how that works for a double page photo. I'm going to hide those. I'm going to show this. And I'm going to say, we can see here how this face here, how close that is here, based or versus here. Yes, I see the knee here, but you see how you're on the gutter here. You see how you're closing her knee here. You see, like, this is a frame that has such discipline, but the wrong discipline, because you're composing on the thirds and you're not thinking about how this works within a magazine. So this, the way that this cuts here, an editor would just be screaming at, like, why? That would be what an editor would be screaming, because all you need to do is take literally one step backwards and this shot is composed properly. One step back. So please, when you're shooting double page spreads, draw a line down the center of your frame and then don't let anything touch it. That's my gift for you. Draw a line down the center of your frame and then don't let anything touch it. Do not compose on the thirds. I will say again, and I'll say it every episode, because every episode someone still does it. This for me, exposure wise, yes. Idea wise, yes. Vibe wise, you have to watch her hands. Her hands look very placed. They're up. So when she would have her hands on her knees, she would have her hands relaxed, but her hands are up. So if her hands are up, she would have her hands like clenched, but like she's using her underhand to support her upper hand, which that looks, it's just, and again, I'm not trying to be all like over and analytical, but these are the things that I look at and art directors will be looking at when they look at your photo. This is a cool idea. She's wearing Nike Tech Fleece. Okay, Nike Tech Fleece. This hoodie costs, this is a $200 jacket. Okay, this is a $200 jacket. These are $200 track pants. But guess what? I don't know that because I can't see the logo. This is another thing. I don't know that because I can't see a logo. Because the logo is right here. The logo's right here. Hidden under that fold. Right there. So when you have Nike, like, would Nike be happy if you were shooting this for Nike and that's how their logos were shown? Obviously no. So this, like, do you have anything, like, she's wearing the Nike pants too. So when you have somebody who is a bigger girl, sitting is not how you shoot them. You don't shoot a big girl sitting because it just makes them big. It just makes them look round, right? So you have her standing, so she looks long. And then also she's standing, so you can see the branding. You can actually see what she's wearing. She's also has Jordan 3s on. I mean, they're kind of beat up, so we would hide the Jordans, but we're seeing them in this shot. So have her stand up. Then now the other logo is on her leg up here. So now we get to see that logo. And also it means that the jacket looks like it fits, like it's not, her sleeves aren't pulling up because she's doing that, which is pulling her sleeves up. All of this stuff, like, it seems like I'm just a crazy person. I mean, I'm feeling very much like that today. But Doyle, those are all the things that I look at. Those are all the things that an art director is going to look at when they're looking, and especially when you're shooting clothing. Like, this is essentially, you're shooting Nike Tech. The headphones, we see the headphones here. We see the brand here, but if you want the headphones to be the brand and that's what we're shooting, then you can't have her also competing wearing another brand, which has nothing to do with the headphones. So it's like one or the other. And if the headphones are what we're shooting, then you have to go in tight and make that the focus and have her interacting with the headphones if the headphones are the focus. Right now, they're just a prop. So for me, Doyle, like there's a lot of things in here. The overall thing is, let me see another frame. Let me see other frames from this to maybe we can see that you picked something. There's something else here. Exposure is great. The color is great. The simple, minimal, all of that, great, 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 great. I just need that composition to be off the thirds when you're shooting horizontals, and knowing when to stand someone up. Like big girls, they got to stand up. You can't shoot them like this. I hope that helps. This is Doyle Daniels. All right. Let's see who is next here. Next is David Holmes. David has done an incredible step up in this next photo. And David, you're proving to me, guys, this is David Holmes. You're proving to me that, like, do you understand? Hey, Jeff, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Do you understand that you're proving to me that you actually, number one, can shoot. Number two, you know what you're doing. So this, David, this, like, yes, is all I'm going to say. Yes. Is the pose a little bit too conservative? Yes. Is the pose, like, kind of cheesy? Yes. Like, it's not a grad photo. Maybe it is a grad photo, but it's very much like you have him in such a cool spot. You're lighting him outdoors with strobe. Have him square up. I'll say this over and over and over and over again. Look at magazine covers. Magazine covers, the model is always squared up 80% of the time. 80% of the time. And again, another exercise. Just go magazine covers. Magazine covers. Just like this. Quick, Google. Boom, boom, boom. Open Google. Look like this and see magazine covers. You'll see 99% of them are straight on. Straight on. Every once in a while, yes, you get a shot like this, but a majority of them are squared up. A majority of them are squared up. A majority of them are squared up, squared up, squared up. Like, you'll notice squared up. Sometimes, yes, fashion covers a little bit more stylish, but majority squared up, straight on, straight on. Yes, she's from the side, but it's Lupita. Come on, she can pose straight up. So, and if you look, men. Oh my goodness. Well, now here you go. This is even because we're now, why compare apples to oranges? Let's compare apples to apples. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. Okay, cool pose, but your model's not doing that. Straight on, straight on, straight on. Straight on, straight on, straight on. Ooh, a little bit of side pose, but look how cheesy that looks. A little bit of side pose, but look how cheesy that looks. Straight on. Straight on. Straight on. It's for real. So like straight on, like this is how we have to square up our models. We have to square them up. Like this is, it's like square up your model. This over the shoulder. It's not 1985. Like that's the only issue. Everything else, man, like David, everything else is like a revelation for you. Now, number one, the styling, the brown, the bandana style, like the dreadlocks, like he just show me other edits from this session. And I want you to be thinking when you're shooting this, look at this as a cover. The next thing is for this to be an 8x10, this is a magazine cover. Perfect. Look at this as an 8x10. As an 8x10, I'm going to show you the crop. This is 1 inch. This is a 2nd inch. So this is where this picture crops when it goes to Instagram. If you're cropping from the top. Okay. If you're cropping from the bottom or some from the top, 1 inch from the top, let's do the inch markers on the bottom. This is 1 inch here. This is a 2nd inch here. If you're caught 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom, now you're cutting his hands off. You see? Because that's what it looks like in Instagram. So or you're bringing his head right up to the top. So vertical, I'll be clear, and if you're watching at home, when you shoot vertical, you always lose an inch from the top and an inch from the bottom, because we shoot 3x2, and I talk about this every single episode. Every episode. 3x2 is what we're shooting. Okay? So if we're shooting 3x2, 3 to 2, that's basically 4x6. It's also 8x12. Oops, 12. Instagram is 4x5, which is also 8x10. 8x10. Also 16x20. Also 24. 16. We'll do 32 by 40. Those are the proportions when you're at the 4x5. So in order to get this into that proportion, you lose an inch on the top and the bottom. That's what happens. That's the basic thing. So just make sure that you're giving yourself a little bit more space. It's hard because you get wrapped into the lighting and the posing and the directing and all that stuff and forget the framing. Like, there is a lot of moving parts when you're trying to be a photographer. And again, I don't want you to think that I'm being an asshole today. I don't want you to think that at all. Just know that, like, when I'm looking at people in my accelerator, when I'm looking at people who are trying to be pro photographers, I have to tune them. It's like an instrument. I have a guitar. Want to hear me play? It's like, okay, it looks like a guitar, shaped like a guitar. It's got all the strings, but it's not tuned. How much better does a guitar sound when it's tuned? So what I'm doing is I'm tuning photographers. I'm tuning them so they can sound better and actually make money. That's what I'm doing. All right, guys. So that is David home. David, this is an 11 for you. And this is such a level up for you. This makes me happy. It makes me happy. Don't be discouraged by I'm still giving you critique, because you are not finished. It's because you and again, don't have an emotional connection to an amazing picture, just like you shouldn't have an emotional connection from a bad picture. You should learn from both. Learn what worked and do it again, because now you've raised your bar. So if your next bar, the next time you submit, if it's down here again, you understand that's consistency. That's up and down like an elevator. So I'm trying to get you always hitting up here. And that is what we're trying to get you to. Guys, that is David Holmes. David, well played, my guy. Well played. Haven't given you an 11 in a while. Let's see who's next. Our next shooter is Anna Kaya. Anna says, hi, Carty. Assigned is, or attached is my portfolio review submission. This is a product lifestyle shot taken in Algonquin last weekend. Looking forward to your feedback. On 780 Nikon, 35mm, 160th of a second, ISO 800, 3.5. This is Anna Kaya. Anna, let's have a look. Anna, this is good. I want you to watch your wide angle when you're shooting people, because it does give like a little bit of distortion. You can see his shoulders are quite wide, but then his leg, it feels like he gets narrow down here. I'm not sure what you shot this with. Let me just have a look again to see what lens you shot this with. Yeah, he's shooting at 35mm full frame. So 35mm, especially like anything wider than 50, when you're holding it vertically, it bends this way. It starts to bend this way. Wide angle lenses are meant to hold horizontal. When you put your subject in the center, there's no aberration. But when you put your subject on one side or the other, then there starts to be distortion, like on this side of the frame and on this side of the frame, which is why we shoot with a 50 when we're shooting portraits, when we're shooting, or we shoot like higher than 50. My suggestion for you, this picture, 50mm, move a little bit further back. Like that's the vibe. Shoot with an 85mm, move a little bit further back. Like it flattens the scene and it makes it more flattering. Wide angle, it creates distortion. Wide angle creates distortion on faces, and it's more, people are more flattering on 50. And again, unless the D70 is a crop sensor, which I'm not sure, even still for me with this picture, it's just a little bit wide. It's a little bit wide. The horizon line then now is a little, because this horizon line is diagonal and all of this stuff is diagonal, but he's straight this way. This on top of the 35 millimeter lens distortion. And also this guy with his lens hood on backwards makes me crazy. Like, makes me crazy. If you're going to have a lens hood on a $4,000 lens, at least put the lens hood the right way. So for me, like, all of these things, we're photographers. So when you're shooting another photographer and he's doing this, it's like, oh, please, no. Please put your lens hood the right way. Please. Because you're covering half the lens. You're covering like and the lens hood makes him look like he knows what he's doing. So for me, again, as a portfolio picture, this is a picture for him. This isn't a picture for you. And this isn't selling you as a photographer, because you have way better photography than this particular picture. Is it nice light? Sure. Is it pretty? Sure. But it makes him, it's for him. And also let him use it and let him tell his people that he shoots with his lens hood on backwards. But for you, you don't shoot with your lens hood on backwards. And like I don't know. I think that you have better photography than this. It's not, again, it's technically okay. But it's not one of those like, wow, I can't wait to put it in my book. You have way better stuff than this, Anna. This is for him. Let him put it in his profile. But for you, I think this is a no. This makes me think only of him and not of you. And I want to think a little bit of you with your style and your swag with your photography, you know? This is, you know? All right. Let's see who is next. Next is Nick Johnson. Nick is shooting Dylan Gabriel. He plays football. This is 3 strobes and some quality time connecting with each subject in the barber chair before a fleeting moment in front of the camera. Canon R6 7200 f8. This is Nick Johnson. Nick. My biggest concern here is how this works over 2 pages, but it's definitely a win for me. Like, I really like it. And I feel like you can get away with this over 2 pages. Like, the way that you cropped, like, the double page going down the side of his face here. Yes, this is okay for me. I mean, it's cutting a little bit of his brow and a little bit of the corner of his eye here. I would like it if it pushed over just a touch. But overall, Nick, this works for me. Technically, it's a really strong photo, like technically perfect, like really good sharpness in the eyes, really nice light, super nice, subtle polish in the background as far as your, like the way your highlights are holding, the way you have a reflector on camera right, just a little hint on his nose, good depth in the background, good vignetting, like pulling you into the main part of the shot, which is this. You see these corners like darkening here, which really pulls you in here. Good highlights on the eyes and good focus. It's a good depth of field. His teeth look amazing. Like, this is a yes for me. This is a yes. This young man's going to be very happy with this photo. This is a yes, Nick. This is a yes. Yeah, this is, I mean, again, from when I saw it, I was like, I mean, Nick is in my accelerator. We definitely were communicating. Samuel Saling. Samuel says, portfolio consideration shot yesterday. Asked this young artist to play the piano for a photo after her show was over. High ISO and quite open aperture was necessary in this case, as it was a short break before another artist. Our kids were sleeping on the sofa in the back of this concert hall, 60 to 80 people. Sony A7 IV 50mm 1.4 at 2.8 ISO 1600 1/25th of a second. This is Samuel Saling. Samuel. All right. Okay, so firstly, there's a couple of things I see. The mic placement. I know that this is like a grab shot. The mic placement, the exposure on her. And the thing that I see more than anything, and this isn't offensive or to be offensive, but it's the hair on her arms. It's out of control. It's out of control. And like, for me, that's enough distraction for this to not be in your portfolio. Sadly, that is enough of a distraction within this frame that this can't be in your portfolio. The way that her eyes are looking up, and we're getting quite a little bit of under eye goo, like when we are looking like this and you see like that under here. So that makes it a little bit tricky, Samuel. The cording, this ladder in the background, like it's too tight a set. It's too tight a spot. Also, you're framing, if we go to an 8x10, you're going to lose all the way to here. Oh, not that far, but you'll lose to here. Yeah, it's a little tight. It feels a little claustrophobic exposure wise. It feels like your frames are way more disciplined than this. They're way more disciplined than this. You're cutting her. I mean, I guess we're not cutting her finger off because it's that, but it's just, it's not as poppy. The color balance, we don't have the keys white. They're a little yellow. Like, it's just too busy. It's too tight a scene with this particular lens. And it's like, it's not the head angle. It's just not a thing for me. And again, you're an editorial shooter trying to shoot her while she's playing. The vibe is just have her sitting next to the piano. Have her just look at you, pay attention to you. And you just make a portrait of her because she just played and she's a piano player. Like, having her playing, you don't need to shoot her playing. Like, because she's playing, now she has to pay attention to playing. And now she's paying attention to playing, she's not paying attention to you. And because she's not paying attention to you, you can't control her facial expressions, her head angles, and all of that stuff, which means you get this. And she's got fur on her arms. So that, it's like, you're going to spend a week retouching that. It's not even going to be worth it. It's not worth it. So for me, this is a no. No emotional attachment to photos. You make them, but you also at the same point have to realize, like, nah, this isn't a photo. This isn't a picture taking situation. This isn't moving my needle. And it's hard. It is really hard, because when you're new, you shoot everything, because everything makes you a better photographer. Everything makes you a better photographer, because every time you shoot, you're learning. You have to do that. Of course. But once you're starting to tune and starting to, like, this is what I shoot, this is what I want to be known for, well, you have to be way more scrutinous, diligent, all of these words, disciplined, when it comes to what it is that you shoot and what it is that you show. Those are like the most, because what you show, you get more of. And if you show perfection, then you get people who are attracted to perfection. If you show mistakes, you get people who don't know better, who don't notice mistakes. You also repel the people who do notice mistakes and who do want higher end. You're just literally off the mark for them forever. Even if you get better, if someone looks at your work and it's shit, you never recover. By the way, you never recover. Even if you get way better, they still remember how bad you were when you first started. So even if you're new, you can still curate what you're letting out into the universe. My 2 cents. Guys, that is Samuel Saling. Samuel, thanks for submitting. Next submitter. Next photographer up. I like this one. This is Travis Silverman. Travis says, missed the submission for the first portfolio image, so I'm throwing this in for my second. Shot the studio Nikon Z6 with a Nikkor 24-70 at 51 millimeter. Please get a 50. Travis, please get a 50, especially if you're shooting a 24-70 at 50. When 50s are light, fast, sharper, please get a 50. They're $200. Shot at 51 millimeters, 1/25th of a second, f10 at ISO 100. One light Elinchrom D-Light RX4 with a Westcott 7-inch umbrella. This is Travis Silverman. Or unless you're saying it's a Westcott 7-foot umbrella, which it actually could be. This is really nice, Travis. This is really nice. I like the sensibility. It's super simple. Look at this as a cover. I like the frankness in the face, but the one thing, and again, I've said it a couple of times today, how she's holding her head, she's definitely pulling back, proud, pulling back. You know what I mean? But it's up to us to extend the head out and just control the head angle, because here we're seeing underneath here, and you can see she's pulling back. She's pulling her chin back. She's got a jawline, and you'd see it more if she extended her chin out. So when you're shooting portraits, don't let your subject do what they do. Help them. And the biggest place you can help them is in their head angle. So this lady, do you have one where she's extending to, like, projecting towards camera rather than pulling back? That is, again, and it doesn't have to be exaggerated. It's just slight. This is a yes for me, Travis. This is definitely one that could go in your portfolio. It's framed beautifully. It's nicely clean. I like the fact that she's squared up. She's wearing the right outfit. It's textured. Her hair looks cool. Like, this is a yes. This one slight thing is I do want you to be hyper aware of how you allow your subjects to hold their head. Chin out, little bit out and down. That is all. That is Travis. I'm giving you an 11 on that one, Travis. That's a definite yes for your portfolio. Obviously, some of these head angle things you can't correct because the pictures are done already. But I'm talking about in future. That is what you have to be watching. As soon as you put your camera up, the person goes like this. I promise it will happen every time. They go like this. So just counter that. Say, hey, you see how you're pulling in like that? Like a turtle? Stop being a turtle. Stick your head out like that and put your chin down so I can make you a supermodel. We can see your neck. Project to the camera. Don't pull away from it, please. So that's what I say to my subjects. All right, that was Travis Silverman. Next, I don't even need to look at this photographer because I know the work. This is Liza Hyder. Let me read Liza's description. Liza says, portfolio image of Kaylin from the Minimalist Assignment. This is my new improved retouch version. Nikon D850 Sigma 135. I love the fact that you shoot on telephotos. Liza, you're very disciplined to like shoot, like, since our talks, like 50, 85, 135, 100. Like, I love it. So Nikon D850 Sigma 135, 1/500th of a second at f8 at ISO 200, natural light and reflector. This is Liza Hyder. Liza, another accelerator member. Yeah, this is strong, Liza. This is a yes. And the new and improved retouched version, come on. Like, well, look at the difference. Oops. That's beautiful. Sorry. I just, go back here. Yeah, look at the difference. This is so strong, Liza. And again, it's like skin. Look at her skin. Her skin had so many issues. Oh my goodness, again. Her skin had so many issues. But now we nailed it. The nice, clean background. Her fro looks great. The afro pick looks great. Let's look at this as a cover. This is great. This is a yes, 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 yes for me. Yes, 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 yes. I told you once this was retouched, it was going to be a smasher for your portfolio, and I did not lie. This is a yes for me, Liza. I love the natural light mixed with reflector. I love the fact that it looks studio, but it's natural light. This is killer. Do this again. Do it again. Please do this again. Let this be one of the things that you do. One of your looks, one of your like primaries, you know, white on white on white with this hard natural light looking. And also here's another thing. Learn how to imitate this with artificial light. Learn how to do this with a beauty dish and artificial light, which you can do easily. And then you can do this light in the studio and you can do it all year round. Beauty dish, super simple. Yeah, beauty dish. All right, guys, that was Liza Hyder with an 11 from the Carty. Well done, Liza. By the way, you want to see the smoke? Give you a little toot. You want to see the smoke? I have a smoke machine, and the smoke machine goes, and I also have some vibe lighting. The lighting goes also when somebody becomes a member. I'll put on the lights, and funny, my strip light should have been on already. But the vibe lights like that, you know, and the smoke, we like to put a little smoke in the vibes if someone becomes a member. Becoming a member is how I'm able to give you commercial-free content. You notice there's not a single commercial through this whole thing. No commercials because you're watching me live, and I don't like live commercials, but I can only do it because I have 173 members. You too should be a member. Please become a member. That helps me greatly and will help you because you get commercial-free content and access to all kinds of members-only stuff that I do every month. All right, let's see our next shooter that I've been previewing for a minute. This is Juan Herrera. Next portfolio image, Canon EOS R24-105, 5.6, 125 at ISO 200. When you're shooting with a zoom, please tell me where you shot it at. Juan, it helps me a lot. This is Juan Herrera. Juan, lovely. This is lovely, lovely, lovely. A beautiful, beautiful picture. Beautiful picture. Like such a, like perfect. Like, I'm very happy with this. The only thing is, again, because you're shooting with the EOS R, like your quality of work is and has superseded your camera, and it's happened a while ago. Right now, sadly, like your tonal range is where we're losing it. Now, also, I want to make sure that you're not adding noise to your photos after the fact. That's not a thing. And I'm noticing you have quite a bit of digital noise here. Now, number one, it's because you have a Canon R. Like that, I think that this is why it's your sensor. Other places where I know it is definitely your sensor is in these highlights. Like this is the RP. This is the RP right here in these highlights. Like that. And just, yeah, I mean, again, I hate pushing gear. I don't make money when you buy it, eh? Unless you use my Amazon links, but it's like, you need a new camera. You need a new camera. You're making work that's so beautiful. You're getting to that point where like you've outgrown your gear. We talked about this last week. Also, there's a LUT or a treatment or a preset. Please no. Please no, there is a preset on this that is giving her this like whatever look. One, presets, what this is doing, it's making it incredibly difficult for me to actually know what color this outfit is, what color the skin is, because you're putting a look, which is again a hook. Here's the thing, no treatments. No treatments. I want to see no treatments to your work. And in fact, I would love to see your work as true to out of camera as possible, because that's also going to make you better, because I'll be able to see what you're doing in post to save your work, and whether you're doing it to save it because you have a Canon EOS R from how many X years ago. So yeah, I'm not trying to push an upgrade, but you need an upgrade, because you're making photography that is this gorgeous. And sadly, it's like I'm seeing highlights blow out that wouldn't blow out on a different sensor. You know what I mean? I'm seeing grain that you wouldn't have that stuff on a different sensor. And sadly, I'm also seeing on top of that treatment that you're doing that's giving the skin this look and giving the background this look and the dreamy blah, blah, blah. Like, stop doing all of that, because that's a hook and you don't need it, because your work is good enough without it. People who are shit photographers need presets in order to make my bad photo look great. It's like, no, dude, you don't need it. Like, just stay with the amazing photography. Yeah, honestly, like you're getting so good. This is an 11 for me, but again, I want to see it with no treatment. That is my challenge for you. Give this back to me with no treatment, and then imagine you're gonna have a portfolio of 30 photos. Is the treatment gonna be like this in every one? Every single one? Well, if it's not, then they're not going to be consistent. This one's going to be treatment. This one's going to be not treatment. This one's going to be blue. This one's going to be it's like, that is called style of the month club. Like, you're trend jumping from, I like this, so I'm doing this now. Oh, I like that, I'm doing that now. Yeah, but what about that shoot over there where you'd have this look? It's like, well, I was doing that then. Well, now I want to do this. It's like, don't think about the work. It's about the work, not the hooks, the crutches, the blue tone, the preset, it's like, it's not that stuff. It's the work. If you can show the work and make amazing work with no presets, like, that work holds up. Because how many pictures in Vogue do you see with presets, with like LUTs on them? Do you know what I mean? So it actually tells you that it's not even a thing. So just get off it. Seriously, if you're at home using Peter McKinnon's presets or whatever the fuck, stop, please. It's stupid. All right, guys. One, you're a great photographer, dude. You don't need the crutches you're using. That's what we're trying to clarify here. Well done. This is Juan Herrera with an 11. Well done, Juan. Hey, guys. You two with me? Are you a member? Carty Crew for life. I love it. Thank you for being my supporters. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. This is Anton Dudis, and I know this because I know the work. Here is another travel issue of your favorite Carty Method magazine. This time we are going to explore Laotian nature. Please wear your wetsuits. This waterfall is a bit crazy this time of year. Have a great day. Sony A6600 Sigma 18 to 50 ISO 125 f7.1 at an 80th of a second. This is Anton Dudis. Anton, this is a yes for me. Thank you. This is a yes for me. Unequivocally a yes. This is a fantastic frame. Let's look at it close up. Hello. Here we go. Let's look at this close up. Yeah, this is beautiful, Anton. Really, really great. Again, Anton, I can't wait for you to upgrade your Sony because you're making such incredible photos with like a lower, more beginner camera. I can't wait until you upgrade because your photography is bananas. Like this is so good. Let's go. Well done. That's yours as a cover. That is an 11. You get the smoke. This is a yes. Just straight up a yes. Compositionally sound. Very interesting scene. Would work for stock. And again, Anton, if you upgrade your body, because I think when it comes to stock photography nowadays, your camera has to be like 30 megapixels. I think 30 is where they're like, they want your camera to be 30 megapixels. But once you have that, like you can start really crushing. I'm not sure your camera is 30. But this is a absolute 11. Let's get it on. All right, guys, let's see our next shooter. I know who this is. And again, this is what I like. I like when I'm actually able to recognize the photographer by their style. A lot of these right now, all of these people who we're looking at are Accelerator members. So I see their work a lot and I really learn the style. And it's so much so that I look at the photo and I'm like, Joe Franklin. And that is exactly who we're looking at. Joe says S5 and a Sigma 16 to 28 at 16 millimeter f8, multiple exposures, 125 ISO 800 with Godox at half, blah, blah, blah. So too much technical. I don't care about any of that stuff. Just show me the photo. All right. This is Joe Franklin. Joe, this exposure blending that you're doing with like focus stacking and everything is really strong. This is an incredibly strong photo. Let's frame it up. Let's look at it as a double. Yeah, it's strong. I mean, the coffee table drops right in the center. It's kind of tricky as far as the way that you're framing this one. Because for me, looking at this frame, I would like this. I mean, obviously the windows are a main feature, but there's not a lot of weight on this side of the frame where there's lots of things on this side of the frame that are taking our attention. So for me, it's tricky because we always have to compositionally come in here and see this the right way. I'm interested in what this looks like up here, not there, meaning like you hide that little thing. I'm wondering what it'd be like if you came around this way and hit it that way, and then use this in the center still, but coming in from a different direction. I love the HDR. You got great detail outside. I mean, all in all, this is a yes for me. I'm gonna give you 11. But I am gonna show a couple of small things that you can fix, like this here on the lamp. You know, a couple of little things here that you can fix. Oops, sorry. Hello. There we go. A couple of small things here that you can fix. couple of things in the table here. You can kind of just clean up a little bit in here and here and here. You can see on the edge of the frame how we start to get distortion. Like that distortion is happening because you're on the far end of a frame when you're shooting wide angle. There's a couple of other things up here in the paint that you could fix. But your room styling is good. Like you're making all efforts to make this room as nice as possible. This whole table here, I would have taken this out. This whole table, I would have taken this table out and moved it maybe over here, and then taken these remotes and put those remotes maybe down here. But yeah, this is good. This is good for me, Joe. Like it's a strong photo. Just again, watch your framing. Let's look at how this goes as a double. Yeah, again, it's just be always very wary as to like what's dropping on the center of the frame. And again, interiors are incredibly hard to shoot. So, just you're doing the reps. Your work has gone way up since you started submitting here and joined my accelerator. This is definitely a portfolio picture, Joe. This is definitely like if this was a picture of someone's home, they'd be thrilled. I just want you to notice how we're aiming down the bench here and across, where if we came in this way, now we can have the bench as a V. Like, you know what I mean? We can have the bench more as a V coming into the center of the frame like that. So you have couch, and then you have the ottoman in the center. If you hit it, like if you come this way, now we get to see this as a V. Where right now we're seeing it's just framed a little different. Like we're seeing it go that way, which we don't really see. We don't see any of this, but it's taking up a lot of space in the frame. And then we don't see this lamp, but it's taking a lot of space in the frame. So again, coming this way, it fans all of that out. So that's 2 cents in a bag of chips for me, Joe. I'd be interested in seeing some more angles in here, but it's still worthy and still should go in your portfolio. I definitely, the mathematics of a room and the mathematics it has to how you shoot an interior when you walk in there, and it's like, where's the spot that I should stand? That is what we do. That is what we do. I mean, I'm not an interiors photographer, so thank God it's not what I do every day. But when I'm shooting people within a space, I have to do that. So I do have tons of experience with it. I hope that helps you, Joe. All right. Our next shooter is Mike Lilly. Mike says, "Hey Carty, shot is part of a project Cynthia and I are doing for a local electrical contractor, showcasing the lighting package. We've been leveraging some of these aerial, exterior, and interior shots to the builder as well. Thanks for your support and indulgence. DJI Air 2-second 8.4 millimeter f2.8 at 1/8 of a second. No, DJI Air 2S 8.4 millimeter f2.8 eighth of a second ISO 100. This is Mike Lilly. Mike, this is a yes. This is a yes for me, Mike Lilly. I see it right off the bat. That's a yes. Let's look at it as a double. Like, really great discipline. I mean, it's really hard to shoot a house on a double, but I like the way that you drop that apex like right on the center of the frame. It actually works for me. And again, it's a lighting package. So what you're shooting is these. You're shooting these, which is amazing. Like, the house looks great. You chose the right time of day. The landscaping is good. Obviously, you can go in here and get some of that cleaned up. Go over here, get some, like, just taking out some of the white specks. That's all I see is some of these white specks. Interior room styling, like, this is a yes for me. There's a couple of light things here. You can take that out. A couple of light things down here that are too bright and distracting. We could clean up the ground down here. Take out a couple of dark things here. This fence, I would do a little bit of magic and make that fence disappear. Take out this little highlight here. Yeah, this is a yes for me. This is a yes for me. I like this a lot, Mike. This is a win. It's tonally strong. Tonally strong. This is a yes. Mike Lilly, everybody. Yeah, small fixes, man. Small fixes that you can do easily. You know, I think that you could really go in here and clean up this just with a little cloning. Take out some of these leaves, take out a couple of little things over here, take out a couple of things here. You can see this kind of stuff. Just do all of those small little fixes. Clean up this little business over here. Is that a bird? I don't know what that is, but take that away. Yeah, small things, but I think a great job overall. Mike Lilly, everybody. Who'll be next? I know who this is too. Guys, this is Taylor Valentine. This is a reshoot of a previous assignment to correct compositional errors and the product presentation issues. Thank you for taking the time for this critique. Nikon Z6 Mark II, 24-70, f4 at 24, f5, 1/320 of a second at ISO 100. This is what I like, because Taylor went out and redid this shot and smashed it. Taylor Valentine. Taylor, yeah, guy. Like, yes. Taylor, look at my face. Look at my face. Look at my face. You see my face, Taylor? You see me smiling, my guy? This is yes. Yes. Like, yes. Yes. You see the care, the craftsmanship? Like, come on, Taylor. Yes, guy. Look at the bag. Look at the label. Like, we can read it. Look at the presentation. Look at how the bag is. You're presenting the bag to me, my guy. Like, yes. And the scene. Like, there's no, like, this is just yes. Like, yes, 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 fucking yes, Taylor, yes. This is dope. Thank you. Thank you for crushing this the way that I knew that you could. This is me believing that if you have some direction, you can go out and smash it. Now, when you shoot, do you see how when you shot this, you had me on your shoulder? Like, you literally had me on your shoulder being like, da 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 da, and you're like, Carty's going to see this. Carty's going to see this. He's going to complain about this. He's going to blah, blah, blah. And you fixed all of those things, right? You just fixed all of those things. And then look at me. I'm like this. Look how happy I am. Because this is the level of care that we have as photographers. This is the level of insanity that we have to have as a photographer. And again, right time of day, right lighting, the right time of day and the right lighting on this product. Like, come on, look at you, like side light now. It's like, you're giving this depth. And you can read the label, and it is the feature thing on the page. Like, we have your headline here or up here in the sky. You know, you can have like technical drawing and like detail, like has this pocket, has this bow. Like, there's so many different ways that they can now use this as an ad. And here's the next thing. Now what you do is now you post this on social media and you tag this bag company. What I would do though is I would give them a vertical. I would give them both options, but I would give them half of the picture, because on Instagram, if you give them just this, it's going to be bigger in Instagram, right? It's going to be bigger in Instagram if they just have that. It's going to be way bigger. And also, you still get all the same gist. You just don't see this second page. You don't need it. But for them, that is a product shot. And that's what I would do is I would post this, just half the page. I would post this to Instagram and I would tag that bag company. I would do that immediately. This is great, Taylor. This is a yes and an 11 and a portfolio picture and should be in your book. Congratulations. Taylor, you got better. You got that. And again, it's just like you needed like a shake. You know what I mean? You needed you needed one of those. And you see now, this is a couple of weeks in a row where you're crushing. Like that shot with the tent, with the light in the tent and blah, 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 that I was like, I critiqued. And then you did it again. And it was like, yes, you smashed it. So what that means for you is with your first attempt, when you're saying you're done, is usually when you should be like, okay, now I have the premise, now I can shoot it. Where before you would just do it and be like, it's done. It's like, no. You just set the foundation. You just set the concept. Like your first photos are like a sketch. You see what I'm saying? Like your first photos so far have been a sketch. And when you do it again, that's the photo, right? Like the second time, that's actually the photo. So what you're realizing is you have to slow down. You have to slow down. You have to shoot. You have to really assess, and you have to revisit and look again and be like do the photo review for yourself the way that I do it for you. Like look, scan, like what could I fix? What could I fix? What could I fix? Oh my God, I see that, fix it. I see that, fix it. Like when you watch me shoot, you just see me do all of that stuff even before I shoot a frame. Like when you see me getting my set ready, when you see me getting ready to shoot, like, oh my God, I got a new video coming out on Friday. Finally, Holly, behind the scenes, you're going to see me make these pictures of this girl looks like Marilyn Monroe. Oh my God, so great. Okay, so back to Taylor. Taylor, I'm proud of you. This is amazing. You get an 11. Sick. I'm happy. Let's go on to the next. This looks like Eamon Thompson. You see, I'm killer. I'm killer. I'm starting to recognize styles. I mean, I've been pretty good at recognizing styles, but when I recognize the style of my viewers, and I looked at this picture and I'm like, this is Eamon. I said, this is Eamon Thompson, and it's Eamon Thompson. Kazima shot outside on his deck, Fujifilm X-T5, 27mm 1.2, ISO 160. 250 per second, f8, single strobe, and a reflector. This is Eamon Thompson, and Eamon, this makes me so happy. This picture gives me joy. Like, look at the smile. Look at the sharpness of this picture. Like, look at those eyes. And the thing is, she's not making eye contact with you. It's like, or you have the camera on the tripod and you're standing and she's looking at you instead of looking at the lens. So the next cue that I want you to be giving your subjects is don't look at the lens, look through the lens. Like look at who's looking at this photo. Make eye contact with the person who's looking at this finished photo. Look through my lens, through me, and look at the person who's holding this in a magazine. Look that intensely. Like, so when they look through the lens, this woman, I believe, is looking at you. And I think that you have your camera on a tripod, but you're standing and not at eye level with the camera. So she's looking at you. So that's the only thing. Your head angle, this is textbook. Look at how we can't see underneath the chin, but no double, nice strong jawline. Like she's presented forward, like she's projecting to you, Emma, and you're up there. But it's like just pure light. Like now what I would do for you is I would lower myself now to the lens level. I hide behind the camera and I'm like, okay, I want you to look through the camera into my eyes. And then like you give those kind of projections, and then you get that eye line at the right level. But this will go in your book anyways. This is fantastic. It's definitely worthy of your portfolio. This is amazing, Eamon, and I have to say, my favorite picture of yours so far. One of my favorite pictures. And it's not just because you're shooting on my signature black. I invented shooting on black, motherfucker. This has been me. I've been shooting on black for 40 years. Like I first started shooting on black in university. But me shooting to black has been something that has been my ism and something that I've added. And you'll see it in my work going so far back. Like jet black as a background. It's just, I just love it. I love the perfect black. And again, this is a V flat, so that's not perfect black, but all the instances where I do perfect black, like this is my black velvet. I love it. And again, it's a thing that I bring out all the time. Colin Firth, Yazzie, David Droga, and then of course all the variations that I do with my dark backgrounds. But you see those dark backgrounds, and you see me do it a lot. If you look through my categories, you definitely will. I'm very happy with you, Eamon. This is fantastic, guys. This is Eamon Thompson. This is an 11. Hey, Dino, thanks for becoming a... Yo, Garin. Yo, how did I miss that? How did I miss that? How did I miss Garin gifting 5 memberships? Like, yo, Garin, what are we doing here, buddy? Gifting the 5 bomb? Thank you. Look at all the new Carty crew. All these people were gifted by Garin Wrath. Steve K, you were gifted. Colin, you were gifted. Dino, MBB Kryptonite, Mark Fox, all you guys gifted by Garin Wrath. Mark Fox is a crazy photographer. He's so good. He lives in Ecuador. I think he's back in London now. Missing you, Mark Fox, wherever you might be. So the smoke go. And I'm sorry, I didn't get an alert from my secretary. Yo, Mr. X gifted. Yo, Mr. X gifted. Let's go, Marvin Miller. I appreciate you, my guy, with the gift bomb. Look at the smoke. Look at the shoes here, babies. We got the smoke rocking right now. Let's go. All right, Mr. Marvin. Thank you, my guy. Hey, stop. 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 Jeez Louise, you're going crazy out there. Guys, we got one more photo. And you know what? Because you guys are in the gifting mood, I'm in the gifting mood. How many likes do we have here? How many likes do we have on this video, on this podcast? Give me a count on likes. Because I like rewarding people for hitting the like button. And I like rewarding people for making comments and stuff like that. So I also, if we have a certain amount of likes, I might gift. We have 32. Okay, guys, how many people are watching me right now? Let's see how many people are watching. 45 people are watching. Okay, so there's 45 people watching. If you can get that number to go from 32 likes to 40 likes, make that go to 40 likes before I end this episode, and I'll gift 5 memberships. And if you're watching, you'll probably get one. All right, we have one more photo to look at, guys. The last and final photo is from Calligraphy. Let me know when we hit 40 likes, and I will gift 5 members to people who are watching right now. Calligraphy, Girl on Gray. My portfolio submission for this week. Nikon Z8, 85mm, f2.8, 200th of a second, ISO 100. This is the one they call Calligraphy. Calligraphy, this is a yes. This is lovely. What I want you to watch is your treatment. I feel like you're now starting to add like a LUT of some sort. Make sure that that is not a crutch or becoming any kind of a crutch. I also want you to watch your super shallow depth of field. I focus here, out of focus here, out of focus here, in focus here, out of focus here. And that is because of a super shallow depth of field, which we do not need to do when we're shooting in the studio. So let's look at what your F actually was. Again, 2.8 at an 85 with an 85mm. 85s are a telephoto. So an 85, like you can't treat the depth of field the same as you would with a 50. Like a 2.8 with an 85 isn't enough. With like to get this eye in focus and this eye in focus, you got to be more like f4, f4.5, f5.6 with an 85. So in your head, make sure that we got 48 likes now. Yo, well, give me 50 likes, maybe 50 likes. We got way past the 40. We got 48 likes. Okay, guys, I'm going to gift you 5 memberships. We're going to do it. See if we can get 50, but I'm going to gift you memberships. Just let me finish this review. So first thing I want you to be very aware of is the focus. Calligraphy, part of the Carty cartel. Is the first thing is focus. Make sure that, let's make sure that that is at 100 here. So I just want to make sure that you can see this eye sharp, this eye soft, this side of the face a little soft, a little bit of a lips, a little soft. Like what's happening is we have this side of the face tight, but she's looking away. Her face isn't dead straight. She's turned that way. So, and exposure, this is hot, meaning too bright. It's over by, I'll call a third. So pull the exposure down so you're not losing highlights here. You see how this is going white here, and here. I know that this is shadow detail, this is highlight detail, and it's a very gradual transition between the two, but still don't let your highlights go too bright. Let your shadow go a little darker. So yeah, small things here. Is this a portfolio picture? Would I let it fly as a portfolio picture? Yes, because no one's going to know and look at this with the same kind of scrutiny that I do. But I want you to watch like how her hands are going out of frame, where you're cropping her hands, like have her bring her hands in frame, have her put her hands in her pocket. Like she's just standing with her arms by her side, which is not something that we do. We don't just stand there with our arms down. It's weird. Like we have our hands here, like we're like holding our hands, or we're like, you know what I mean? We have our hands in our pockets, or like there's something. So she has to be in like a vibe that's like a realistic pose, not just like her arms down. So I don't like cutting arms that way. Like this is a half length shot, meaning you're cutting her at her waist. What I would do is I would have her hands up. I'd have her arms up. I'd have her like doing something, some sort of gesture, playing with her fingers, or I'd have her arms up this way with like a half length shot. Although I don't hate when models touch their face, I would have her hands like up like this if I wanted to crop there, or I would cut lower if I wanted her arms there, and I would cut mid thigh just below her fingers. But I'd also have to give the head space because you don't want to lose it to an 8x10. Also, when this goes to an 8x10, you're going to lose up here, which is fine, but you also are probably going to lose here, which that's an 8x10. So this is all stuff to think about, calligraphy. This is a great shot. I love the fact that you're shooting so much more in studio using artificial light. Just want you to watch your exposure. The exposure is a little hot, little hot, little hot. You can see her skin here is brighter than this gray background. It should be, but not quite as much as it is. Small thing, but again, I think this is a great shot. I'm not sure if it can go in your book as is. Would definitely need some tweaks and would be interested in seeing other edits. Guys, I think we made it to the end. I think we made it to the end. How many likes do we have? Did we make it 50? Did we make it to 50 likes? Did we make it to 50 likes? Did we make it to 50 likes? If we got 50 likes, then I'm going to gift you guys a memberships. Hey, Marvin said we made 51 likes because I like it like that. All right, so we're going to start the vibes. Number 1, light show. Number 2, smoke show. Number 3, membership gifting. Let's get it on. Gift membership. Let's go. Gifted. All right, rock and roll. Carty just gifted 5 memberships. Hey, Artistic Dreamer, you just got gifted. Orange Clips, the Bible for Unseen Culture, you were just gifted. Georgie Gerardo, my boy George, you just got gifted. Let's go, Georgie. And Daron Hill, you just got Daron and Dylon are brothers. Daron, you just got gifted a membership, guys. And David Douglas, you just got gifted a membership. Guys, do you like my new alerts? Do you like these ones, or did you like the ones down here? You like these ones better? You like the ones down here? You tell me. Anyways, yeah, these Dylon spits hot fire. Yo, Mark Fox, you see, you got gifted, and boom, he's here in chat. Let's go, Mark Fox. I miss you, my guy. I miss seeing your photos. Like, I actually really do. I used to see your photos every week. Guys, that top side is better. You like it too. I like it too up there. Guys, thank you. I'm sorry I got frustrated. I got frustrated because we missed a couple of photos with the right names and blah 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 in the beginning, and I was reviewing one photo and thinking it was this person and it was this picture. It's not like me, guys. I don't like mistakes. I like mistakes. I'm crazy like that. But it is all right because shit happens. And I'm used to doing these live. I've been doing them for 4.5 years. So for me, I don't get frustrated. Like I'm already over it. I'm over it. We made it to the end. And I saw some great photography. Like you guys got your views, and I was really impressed with a few people, like really impressed. And then there's others I was like, hey, you try harder. It's necessary to try harder. But I am going to give photos of the week. The best in show vibe for Tuesday episodes. You're not doing an assignment. You're just shooting work for yourself. So best in show for me, how I do photos of the week is like you moved the needle. Simple. Like that's how I do photos of the week is like you moved the needle. You shot something that blew me away. Like you moved the needle, and this is going to go in the portfolio. It's not just going to go in the portfolio. It's going to be something that like that you're going to hold on to. You're going to see this image for years, and you're going to attribute this image to me because you made it for me somehow. So that for me is crazy. So let's go through our first photo of the week, people. Our first photo of the week is pretty simple. It's Mats Carlson right here, guys. Mats Carlson, photo of the week. Carty approved. Great shot. I love it. Super strong Mats. Technically perfect. I don't remember the other version. Okay? I don't remember the other version because this version is perfect. This version has erased the other version to me. So thank you. This is a perfect shot. That's Mats Carlson. That's my first photo of the week. My next photo of the week, as I scan here, guys, our next photo of the week. This is a photo of the week for this shooter. Guys, David Holmes. David, congratulations. I've been waiting for this for a minute from you. Been waiting and begging, needing it from you. You proved a lot here, David, to me. Thank you. That's a photo of the week for me, my guy. That's David Holmes. Our next photo of the week, people. Our next photo of the week goes to Nick Johnson. This photo right here. This is a photo of the week, people. This is Carty approved. Photo of the week, Nick Johnson. Well done, Nick. It's a banger. Absolute. Look at it. It's crazy. Look how crazy that looks on your screen. So good. That is Nick Johnson. Our next shooter, our next photo of the week. And again, the consistency from this photographer, it's like this shooter just needs like reassurance, just needs like attention. Like this shooter can shoot like fuck. Guys, our next photo of the week. Very proud of this shooter and the consistency over the last month or so. Travis Silverman, photo of the week. Another killer from Travis. Let's go, Travis. Let's go. Photo of the week. Well played. Our next photo of the week winner, and somebody who I was so happy when I saw this photo, but I was like, oh, you need a retoucher so bad. Use mine. Here's my retoucher. You can borrow him. Ladies and gentlemen, our next photo of the week goes to Liza Hyder. Liza, photo of the week, people. Congratulations, Liza. Amazing. Liza. Our next photo of the week, people. Next photo of the week goes to Juan Herrera. Juan. Photo of the week, people. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like, you understand I'm hard on you. Only because you're good. And again, it's like no emotional attachments to our pictures. You can't have emotional attachments because then you're like, oh, he doesn't like it. It's like, dude, who cares if I like your photo or not? I'm just giving you practical advice. Seriously, practical advice. Take it or leave it. Juan, this is a banger. Photo of the week, my guy. Photo of the week. Carty approved. Next photo of the week goes to, let's see, Ho. Hey-o. You wish you had this guy's life. Guys, the next photo of the week goes to Anton. Dudis. Anton. Photo of the week. Carty approved. It's just, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come now. Anton, just crazy. 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 Okay, we are doing it like this. Our next photo of the week winner goes to Joe Franklin. Joe, congratulations, buddy. This is banger. Again, it's like, I thought he hated it. No. It's fucking technically insane. This is an amazing photo. I'm just giving you ways to make it even more psycho, more amazing. Again, it's like, I don't have emotional attachment to pictures. I'm not emotionally attached to your photos. I mean, and you shouldn't be emotionally attached to your photos either. Photos are literally our work. It's literally like swimming strokes. Imagine you're trying to be an Olympic swimmer. Each stroke you're doing, it's like repetition, stroke. And your coach is going to be like, that second length, that was bullshit. What are you doing? What are you doing? That right arm, you're not coming around. You're not cupping your hand. You're not pushing through. Like, your coach is going to look at what you're doing, that work, which is your stroke, and be like, fix that. And then you do again and you fix it. And you're like, oh my God, I just took 2 seconds off my time. And it's like, yeah, because I'm your coach. I'm standing on the sidelines and I'm watching you work. As a photographer, what I'm doing is I'm standing on the sidelines and I'm watching your strokes. Each one of those photos is a stroke. If you're emotionally attached to it, imagine Jordan, like Michael Jordan's coach. It's like, Jordan's trying to do this dunk from here. And Jordan's coach is like, yo, you're pushing off on the wrong foot. Like, you need to like explode off. And then he's like, okay, so he pushes off the other foot, he explodes off, and he goes from the free throw line and boom, dunks it. It's like, Jordan's like, yo, I just went from the free throw. Yeah, he knew he could do it. That's why he did it. But his coach watched how he was doing it. And it's like, if you do it this way, you're going to do it even better. And that's why everyone should have a coach. Seriously, I have 3 of them. And my coaches are the best people. But if you think that I'm hard on you, meet Tim Foran. Like, Tim won't, he doesn't know you. So he doesn't want to talk to you. Like, it's like, yes, my audience, come be a guest. Like, talk to me. We can blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, why would I want to do that? Like, you know what I mean? I do this for you, Carty. Like, I don't want to talk to strangers. Like, that's Tim, creative genius. Like, invented the axe effect. Like, Gabe, totally different personality. Gabe, marketing guy. He's like, I'm like, Gabe, come on the podcast? He's like, sure. So you can see a marketing masterclass on my channel in the masterclass playlist of Gabe. Because Gabe, he's just a different dude. Michael, I'm like, Michael, my business coach, be on a podcast. He's like, no, what do I want to fucking do that for? No, please, no. I do this for you. You and I talk. We're friends. I'm not trying to make content. Like, that's what Michael says. I don't want to make content. That's for you. You go make content. You go make notes on our conversations. You go make content. Like, that's Mike. Michael doesn't care. He doesn't care about content. It's like, you know. So again, it's like, I borrow and I give to these people, and believe me, they're not my coaches because just for shits and gigs. Like, I give all kinds of inspiration and vibes and ideas, and like, it's an equal exchange. You know, I coach them spiritually. Yeah, it's a beautiful relationship. But understand that we all need somebody who's coaching us. We all need someone to mentor us, someone who's helping us, who just knows how we tick, that can actually tune us. Tim tunes me. He's very direct. He'll send me a message. What the fuck are you doing with your Instagram? That's the message. And I'm like, dude. And I reply, I'm like, he's like, you're not posting, but you're inconsistent, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I'm just like, wow, dude. And then he'll praise me. He'll be like, dude, this is the kind of shit I expect on your Instagram. This stop the scroll, bro. This stop the scroll. Like, this is like my coaches. Like, this is how they come at me, you know? So guys, I hope today brought you value. You want an assignment? You're not going to get one. The assignment is simple. Next week, submit another portfolio picture for us to do this all over again. But what I'm going to possibly start doing, I'm going to talk to my team. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the wheel on Tuesday. I'm going to spin the wheel on Tuesday for next Thursday's assignment. This is a thought. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. What if I gave you 2 extra days for that assignment? So Thursday's assignment that I'm looking at Thursday, I would have gave you last week, Tuesday. What if I give you 2 extra days? What if? Does that make a difference? Something that I'm thinking about. Again, leave comments if that's something that would actually break your brain and be a complete reality change for you. If I gave the assignment for next Thursday, and so a portfolio picture Tuesday, you can pull from your archives for that, but you have to actually shoot something. Also, what if I gave you that also on Tuesday? So you had an extra 2 days. If that is something that you're interested in and you are photo submission members, leave a comment, not just in chat, but I want to see this as a comment. And I'm going to encourage comments because literally comments are what propel this channel forward. Comments, like I actually need you to leave comments. If you watch a video, if you made it to the end, leave a comment. That would help me greatly. Guys, I hope this has helped you greatly. I will be back Thursday for another photo review show. We are looking at assignments, and then Friday, we got a new video dropping. It is a big one. I'm very excited about Thursday. Thursday, we are doing a premiere. We might even do a live stream after the premiere because I'm so excited about Friday's video. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel so you can watch it. If you want to submit your photos like these fine people have done, make sure you go to the Carte Method /YouTube submissions to sign up to have your photos submitted and looked at by me. Also, I have the fastest growing photography mentorship community on the internet. Please go to the Carte Method and join the mentorship community. You can pick up this super fly S-Preme hoodie from the Carte Method shop, which you can see probably there. I don't know. It's on the channel somewhere. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this brought you value.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carte Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carte Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carte Method.